Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. In today's video I am going to be painting a white anemone using watercolor, but what's different about this is that I will be using mixed media paper, which I've never used before. There are a few artists that I follow and I noticed that they use mixed media paper for their floral paintings, and so I asked a few questions and I did some research and found that the reason they use the mixed media paper is because the colors blend easier on mixed media paper. The surface is very smooth and it can take the scrubbing of the brush to blend out colors or to mix colors. And I thought, well, why not just use hot pressed paper? It's got a smooth surface also. But what I quickly found out is that hot press paper cannot take that type of scrubbing. So the mixed media paper works really well because the color sits on the surface and you can easily soften colors, blend colors, or even remove color if necessary. So I thought I definitely want to give this a try. I chose a simple painting because I wanted my first try to be successful so that I would not be discouraged, and I wanted to try this out and share it with you. So again, I chose a very simple flower with very, very pale colors. And what I'm using for this painting is Strathmore mixed media paper, Muñoz pan paints, detail brushes, and of course water, a towel for blotting, and washi tape to create a border around my painting. The colors I'm using are French gray, indigo, black, cobalt blue, and permanent violet. Of course, you don't have to use these colors. Use whatever paint you have available to you, and you can choose colors that are similar to the colors that I've used, or whatever colors you like. So in my reference photo, the what are they called? The filaments were white, but I did notice that they had a slight shadow to them. So I used the French gray, and it was very easy to blend that color out and still have my filaments look white. Then for the anthers, I used a combination of indigo and black mixed together. And you can see that I got these beautiful highlights in the anthers. It was very easy to achieve that. I used a heavy concentration of pigment or paint on the areas that I wanted shaded. And once I applied that color, I cleaned off my brush, patted it off on my towel so it was just damp, and I used the tip of the brush to blend the color out and around my highlight. And it worked beautifully. It was really easy. So for the center mound of my flower, I used black and indigo, but I didn't mix the colors together. I used alternating brush strokes of each color to create a little detail, but not too much. I didn't want that to be the focus of the painting, so I kept it pretty simple. Then for the area in between the filaments, I used a mix of cobalt blue and permanent violet. And for the color closest to the base of the petal, I used the cobalt blue. So I dropped a heavier consistency closest to the base of the petal, and after I cleaned off my brush and dried it off a little bit, I was able to blend that color out to create the veins and to soften it very easily using the tip of my brush. Here I'm using French gray to add the shadow that I noticed in my reference photo. And again, I was able to blend that color out into the white of the paper very easily. I really enjoyed using this paper and giving this a try, and I'm very curious to see how it works, or rather how well I can blend out more vibrant colors. Again, I chose a very simple painting for this test, but my next one will be using more vibrant colors, and I'm curious to see how I can blend yellows into orange, into reds, etc. If you are an artist who has used mixed media paper for watercolor, I'm very interested in knowing your opinion, what the pros and cons are, what you like best about it, or whether you prefer your typical watercolor paper such as Arches or what have you, as opposed to the mixed media paper. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Again, I'm very curious to know what your opinion is. I also believe that if I had discovered this when I first started with watercolor, I would have had an easier time because, again, blending the colors is much easier than using watercolor paper. When I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. This would have been a lot easier. So if you're a beginner and you're having a tough time, maybe you should try some mixed media paper. You might find it easier. So, as always, I'll remind you that all the products used will be listed in the description box just below the video, along with links. And if you would like to show your support for my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. All you have to do is give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, or consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Also, you can click on that notification bell if you'd like to know when I post a new video. I usually post one video a week on a Friday, but I'm known to do 2 videos in a week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.